The rain never stopped. It fell over the streets like a curtain, hiding the dirt, the blood, and the broken dreams. People moved through the city like shadows, keeping their heads down. No one smiled, no one cared. This was a place where hope had long ago died. Detective Elena Voss had worked in this city for over 20 years. She had seen everything: murder, lies, cruelty. She had stopped being surprised a long time ago. Voss didn't talk much. She kept to herself and smoked in silence behind the police station every night, watching the rain. One morning, Voss was told she had a new partner. His name was Jonas Blake. He was young, clean, and full of energy. He had just transferred from a smaller town where crime wasn't so bad and people still believed in justice. Voss didn't want a partner. She especially didn't want someone who still believed the world could be fixed, but she had no choice. Their first case together would become the most important and the most horrifying of their lives. Their first crime scene was inside a quiet old church. A man was found hanging upside down like a bat. His mouth was sewn shut. Strange symbols were carved into his chest. No one knew what they meant. Next to the body, written in white chalk, were the words, "First Voice." The dead man was soon identified as Pastor Irving Lee. He had been famous for his sermons, but also had a history of stealing money from the church. He was supposed to be a man of God, but many believed he was a liar and a thief. Voss looked at the body and then at the message. Something felt planned. This wasn't just a murder, it was a message. "We're only seeing the beginning," she told Jonas. 3 days later, another body was found. This time it was a young woman, Lana Kessler, a famous social media star. She was found dead in a bathtub filled with black ink. Her phone was still recording next to her. She had millions of followers online but had recently been caught lying about raising money for charity. On the wall, written in lipstick, were the words, "Second Echo." Jonas was shocked by the crime. Voss was quiet, but her face showed worry. The message seemed similar to the first case. Two different people, but both were public figures who had lied to the public. And both were found with messages that seemed connected. Jonas had a theory. Maybe the killer is choosing people who speak lies, who use their voice to hurt others. Voss nodded slowly. Maybe, but the question is, how many more are there? The third victim was a talk show host, known for spreading rumors and mocking guests. He was found dead in his studio. His tongue had been cut out. Again, there was a message written near the body. Third breath. The fourth body appeared the next day. It was a professor who had given angry speeches on television about politics and hate. He was found drowned in mud, his mouth full of dirt. Next to him were the words, "Fourth hum." Voss and Jonas were now sure they were chasing a serial killer. Each victim had used their voice in some way, preaching, influencing, mocking, shouting. And each death seemed to silence that voice forever. They visited a linguistics expert who told them something important. These messages, first voice, second echo, and so on, were related to the stages of human speech. The killer was moving through the 8 parts of sound: voice, echo, breath, hum, tone, cry, scream, and silence. It was a pattern, and they were only halfway through it. Then, a letter arrived at the police station. It was written in black ink, addressed to Detective Voss. The handwriting was clean and careful, like it belonged to someone who took great pride in their words. The letter said, "This city is full of voices, loud, cruel, dishonest voices. They fill the air with lies and pain. I do not kill to punish. I kill to bring peace. When the 8th voice falls, the world will finally be silent." 8. There was also a list inside the envelope. It had 8 names. 4 of the people were already dead. 4 were still alive. And the last name on the list was Jonas Blake. They worked fast, trying to protect the next person on the list, a radio host named Tina Waters. She was known for cruel jokes and mocking people on air, but they were too late. She was found dead in her studio, electrocuted while wearing her headphones. On the wall was the 5th message. Fifth tone. The killer now had 5 victims. Voss and Jonas had only 3 names left to protect, including Jonas himself. They began to dig deeper into the killer's possible identity. They looked for anyone connected to all 8 names. And that's when Jonas found something strange in Voss's old case files. 15 years ago, Voss had worked on a case involving a teenage boy named Daniel Harrow. He had been accused of a crime he didn't commit. But when the press got involved, Voss made a mistake. She shared his mental health records with a reporter. The boy was publicly shamed, and soon after, he took his own life. The name Daniel Harrow was not on the list of victims. But Jonas now believed he could be the killer, or the reason behind it all. Voss looked guilty but said nothing. She simply said, "If it's him, then this isn't about justice. It's about revenge." That night, the sixth victim was found, a speech therapist who had once mocked children with disabilities during a conference. He was found dead in his office. The message reads, "Sixth cry, 2 left." After studying all the locations of the murders, Voss and Jonas realized something. If they placed the crime scenes on a city map, they formed a circle, like notes in a song. It was music, not just murder. Using this pattern, they guessed the location of the next attack, an old, abandoned concert hall on the edge of the city. They went without backup. Inside, they found microphones, old speakers, and hundreds of cassette tapes. On each tape was a name: victims, politicians, police officers, teachers, journalists. Killer had been recording the voices of the city for years. Then they saw him, standing in the shadows. It was Daniel Harrow, alive and very different. He was calm, older, and wearing a black coat. He smiled at them. "I am not a killer," he said. "I am a conductor." Daniel, now calling himself 8, explained his plan. He said he had listened to the city for years. He believed that speech had become a weapon, used for hate, lies, and pain. "I don't silence people because I hate them," he said. "I silence them because they've poisoned the world. The more we speak, the less we listen. I want to restore peace. The 8th voice will be the last." He told Jonas that the final voice was his. Jonas had tried to be a good man, but 8 believed even good men lied to themselves. "You hide your anger behind justice," 8 said, "but it's still there." Then he gave Jonas a choice. He placed a gun on the ground. "You can kill me, that will stop my final act. But it will make you the 8th silence. You will finish the song. Or you can walk away and let me go. Either way, my message will be complete." Voss stood beside Jonas. She aimed her gun at 8. "Don't listen to him," she said. This is just another trap, but Jonas was frozen. His hands were shaking. He remembered the list. He remembered the letter. He looked at the gun, then at 8. Then, slowly, he lowered his hand. "I won't give you what you want," he said. 8 nodded, like he had expected that. "Then I suppose the world will keep screaming." Police rushed in. 8 didn't fight. He was arrested and taken away. But when they searched his apartment later, there was no bomb, no weapons, only a speaker playing a soft, endless sound. Wind through trees. Months passed. 8 refused to speak in prison. No lawyer, no visitors. He just sat in silence. The media moved on. People forgot. The city kept talking, lying, shouting. Jonas was promoted, but something had changed in him. He was quieter now, more thoughtful. He often found himself listening to the sounds around him, not just hearing them, but really listening. Voss retired. On her last day, she handed Jonas a notebook, her personal journal. Inside were poems she had written during her years on the force. One poem read, "The voice is a mirror of the soul, but even mirrors lie in the dark." On the final page was a list of names. 8 new names,